Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I have a fun question that I want to kind of answer today because I think it's another good question. It's going right along with the whole house flipping series that I just did. And I am loving your feedback. I'm loving your questions, things that you want, me to dive deeper into. This is why I do this. And so your comments or questions, your follow-up comments and questions, they're super helpful. And I will continue to record more podcasts about it as long as I'm getting these questions. And I'm finding that, this would be a good one to talk about. And so far, most of them have been. So keep them coming. You can email me, Lindsay at mycreativedays.com. You can DM me on Instagram at mycreativedays. I absolutely love them. So keep them coming. So I am going to read this one to you and then we'll go from there. So it says, "Hi, Lindsay. I have been following your furniture flips for some time, but just found your podcast on house flipping. Thank you so much for such great information. I'm at the time in my life that I have the time and money to invest in flipping. It's something that I've dreamed all of my life, but the time wasn't right. I would love to know how to find off-market properties and if you have any tips to share. I have walked the neighborhoods to find houses that look distressed, and every time I find one, when I go to look online, it already has a pending offer. I just joined a website that you can do mailers to off-market properties using a certain criteria. Not sure if that will work. I don't believe I should purchase my first flip through an auction. What do you think about that? I live in New York. House prices are extremely high. There's a tremendous amount of competition, and I'm getting frustrated because I can't seem to find a home to flip or even BRRR. Can you share any advice?" Okay, so first of all, I want to say that every market is going to look different, right? So where I am in Iowa is so different from even, from even some areas where I'm like, how are they finding houses for that cheap? How is this even happening? I always think I live in Iowa, which is like, most people don't even know about Iowa or where Iowa is. Like, I just think it should be one of the cheapest places. And it's not true. It's not. So, obviously there's different cities within Iowa. So every area is going to be different. So I love that you're finally in a place where you both have the time and the money. But let me just kind of give you I'm trying to figure out how to do this the best way. Let me give you some of my tips and kind of how this goes. And again, I'm speaking from personal experience, what I have learned, we have actually experienced, and those kinds of things. You're not doing anything wrong. Right? Finding off-market properties, it's hard. It is the hardest part of flipping, and for us too. And especially in a market like New York, where prices are so high and competition is probably super crazy. Walking the neighborhoods to spot distressed homes, that's a great, smart instinct. I do that. When I say I do this in Iowa, I do this almost like it's a full-time job. Anytime I go anywhere, and this is kind of a tip I would tell anybody, if you go, let's just say you go to work, the store, the bank, whatever you're going shopping for the day, you're running to Walmart or Target, whatever it is, go a different route every single time. It's going to take you a little bit longer, but go a different route every single time. And do this constantly. When I tell you that I'm always looking for houses. Like, it doesn't matter. My kids are to the point now where I will get a random text from them. It's an address, and I always know. And they'll always tell me, "Mom, you're always looking for houses. So I thought this one looked it needed work or something." Whatever it's just a random address. I know that I need to go look up that address. So I've even got the kids looking or being aware, which I kind of love because I would love to see them at some point in their life. And they have both talked about wanting to do it, investing in real estate. So I love that they even kind of have that instinct to do that. So you're doing the right thing. The frustration of finding a property only to see it already, pending sale or whatever online, that's so normal. Do you know how many times that I will reach out to a house that I find and I will say, hey, we are interested in buying your house or the house. It may not be a place they live in. It may just be a place they own. As is, you don't have to put any money into it, no work into it. You don't even have to hire a realtor because that's going to save you a ton of money on as the seller on your end. So you don't even have to pay that. Like, here it is. Like we can do it all for you. Here's, the system and how it works. You don't have to put any money into it. You don't have to, pay taxes on it anymore, blah, 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 blah. And I will write to that house for a year, for 16 months, whatever it is, and then go to find out that there is a list, like it's been listed with a realtor. It's so frustrating. So again, you are right where you're supposed to be. And all of that means that your eye is really good and you're competing with investors who have systems running constantly. Off-market deals for us, a couple of them have been one and done. Meaning we, word of mouth, one of them, I actually just went over to them and said face to face, like, this is what we can do for you. And that worked. Those are going to kind of be one and dones. Now, one of them that I reached out to, it has led to multiple purchases of houses with this one person. And so a lot of this has to do with volume and consistency. The mailer site that you say you joined, I have never done those. It can probably work, but it's not going to be overnight. They usually those kind of mailers depends on how you're doing it. And I know there's different systems and those things are run different ways. So it could mean they take, multiple touches. Sometimes it takes a couple of months before you start seeing any responses. One postcard alone, one note alone rarely produces a result. And I will tell you that I'm going to be 9 out of 10, let's just say 9 out of 10 cards or postcards, just for the lack of a better term, letters, notes, whatever you want to call them, I will not hear a response at all. So that's 90%. I'm telling you, honestly, 90%. And I just want, when I reach out to these people, please tell me that you're not interested. Just say, hey, not this year. Hey, we're going to rent it out. Hey, my mom is still sick or whatever it is. Please just let me know because I don't want to keep showing up in your mailbox or whatever. If it's a dead set no, just let me know. And I leave all of my information so they can let me know, but I will not hear a thing at all. So that just tells me keep going, keep on keeping on. And that's what I do. But I do spread them out. So just so you know that there are a couple that I have been pursuing for years. And when I say years, I mean years. Yeah, I was still taking my kids to school when some of these started. Both of my kids are now in college. So when I say years, I mean years. Now, we have had other ones within there, but there are certain ones that I would really, really, really like to get, and I'm going to continue to show up in their mailbox until they tell me we're not ready or we're not going to sell it. In high-cost competitive markets like New York, one thing, maybe your first flip doesn't have to be a property that looks like a huge deal on paper, meaning maybe it's just a smaller margin for your first flip. Maybe it's just a cosmetic flip or just a straightforward renovation, just to get your first, just to get your foot in the door, just to get your first, taste of it, grow your confidence, build kind of a team or not. And when I say team, we don't have a team, but, people that you can work with and call on to do maybe your plumbing, your electrical, those kinds of things. Don't maybe look for those massive projects in a market like that because those people that are already in it and people already know, hey, I'm going to call so-and-so because they'll come right in. They'll give us a cash offer and I don't have to deal with it anymore. Those people, they're looking for those big margins. And so maybe for you, it's just going to be a smaller margin property just to get started. And we've definitely had those in our journey. So about auctions, We have never done an auction. And to be completely honest, I don't know if we ever would. They move fast and they often limit your access, even to just look at the property. They'll probably tell you, you can't have an inspection or anything like that. So, I mean, I would just like to walk the property, walk through the house. So then we could kind of do our quote unquote own inspection. You know what I mean? Just to kind of know what we think would have to be done. But those are just at a higher risk that in our stage of the game and what we're interested in doing and knowing what kind of our budgets look like and kind of, what do I want to say? Our experience and knowledge of certain things. We are just probably never, I hate to ever say never, right? Don't never say never, but 99% sure we would probably never do one at an auction unless we knew, the house or the people that had the house or something like that. But people do use them. They make money, on houses that they buy at auctions. So I think your instinct that for your first flip shouldn't come from an auction, I think that's a really smart call. We've never done it, so I cannot tell you, from personal experience about auctions. We just know that we're probably not going to go that route. I'm taking a quick break from the episode to share some exciting news with you. If you have ever wanted to flip furniture for extra cash, a creative outlet, or to build a business but didn't know where to start, there's never been a better time. My Furniture Flipping Academy is now just $79, which is over $200 off the original price. Inside, you'll learn how to find amazing pieces on a budget or for free, how to transform them step by step, sanding, painting, staging, all the things, how to price and sell for real profit, and even know how to work with brands to grow your flipping business in more ways than you know. And that's just the start. There is so much more waiting for you inside the Academy. We have so much packed inside the Academy. It's completely self-paced. Once you buy it, it's yours for life. There are no deadlines. There's no pressure. We do have a sneak peek inside the link in the show notes. It will give you a glimpse inside the Academy. And here's the truth. Nothing changes unless you do. You can keep waiting for the right time, or you can take this step now. At $79, the price isn't holding you back anymore. So stop hesitating. Stop making excuses. Click the link and get started today. Okay, so now you brought up the BRRRR deals, and I just want to clarify for anyone listening or who might be new, or you may have missed my financing podcast about this. So the BRRRR, it's BRRR. It's actually a financing strategy. It's not a property type. So it stands for you buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and then you repeat. So I'm not sure, and maybe I'm reading that wrong, so I'm not sure about if you meant what kind of property that is. So for us, and we've actually done that financing as well. We've done a few different routes for financing our properties. And for the whole BRRRR method, you're probably renting then. So if you're just looking to flip, that may not be the best option, but this is something that you need to, before you even start looking at houses, go to your bank and see what your options are, and just kind of talk to them about what you want to do. Maybe you are looking to rent. If you're looking to flip to sell, it may look a little different, but to know, and this kind of happened to us. So this last year when we bought 3 houses that literally fell in our laps, and I say that because I guess they didn't just fall in my laps, like in our laps, because I work really hard to look for houses. I am outwardly telling people what we're looking for. And that is something I want to mention. And I'm sure I have that in my notes later on as we get your best. You need to be telling everybody you know, and everybody that you know needs to be telling everybody that they know what you're looking for and what you're looking to do. Because word of mouth is something you can't pay for, right? And your little your little pocket of family, friends, and those kinds of things, that's a lot different than who, this big, vast, investors that are picking up these properties left and right. And so easily you think, they're not tapped into your personal friends and family, right? And so those are the people that you should really start looking at and talking to. Another good route, and one way, if you know anybody that's maybe elderly or thinking about moving to a condo, or they just don't have the bandwidth and they don't want to take care of a full house and a full yard anymore, or maybe they're moving to a retirement company from a condo. I know this is going to look different depending on where you live. That's a great place to start. And to know that they could work with you, you could make the sale super easy. You can save them money depending on how you do it. You may be wanting to use a realtor too, but just that you will be able to come in, kind of tell them your goals and what you're looking to do. That's another good avenue. And again, friends of family, friends of friends, they should all know that that's kind of what you're looking for too. So my advice to you is narrow your search criteria and focus on what truly works for you. Maybe it's a neighborhood. Maybe it's a part of, for us in the city we live in, there are definitely parts of the city I won't even look at. I just know it's not a good investment. And so just narrowing down your search for what you're really looking for. And again, don't look for those, houses or properties that are just really dilapidated and are going to take a huge budget and where you're going to flip and make a massive amount of money. To start off, it's probably not going to look that way. So make sure you narrow your search criteria down a little bit. Build relationships with agents, wholesalers, neighbors, family, friends. Like I had already said, the best deals come from the people you know. I'm being completely honest. That's where the best deals come from. I made one connection with somebody that I didn't know, and we have bought multiple properties from that one person. And now she is all done she has sold her last prop. She's done now. She doesn't have any more to sell. But I wanted to make sure as soon as we bought this last one that she knows our name and that we want her to give our name to a couple of other people she has in mind for who's looking to get rid of some properties. And I will. So I told her that. It was like a month after that, we closed on it and all of that. And then I just sent her a separate message and I said, hey, just so you know, this is our goal. This is what we're looking to do. I told her exactly what that looked like. And I said, if you know of anybody, and she knows exactly kind of what we're looking for because of the properties that we have bought from her, please, I want you to give our name and number to them. And so she has a couple of people that she's going to do that with. And now probably getting closer, I am recording this in February, getting closer, March, April, I will probably reach out to her again and just kind of say, hey, just so you know, if you know anybody, it's now getting to be springtime, let us know. And so I will keep keeping on. Like I said, I'm going to keep reaching out to her and saying that. And that's how you're going to get the foot in the door. So you need to be patient with off-market strategies. I'm telling you, our last time that we bought a house was 2020. And that was another one that I didn't know the person. I just reached out. We didn't find another house for 5 years. And I know we had the pandemic and everything. I know that changed a lot. But when I say you need to be patient, I mean, you need to be patient. Consistency is big. Urgency, not so much, right? You want to be smart about the properties you are considering buying. Just stay consistent. Reach out regularly, follow up. Don't give up. Wait until they tell you, stop reaching out to me. I am not going to sell or whatever. And you want to be really considerate. I mean, you don't want to show up in their mailbox every day, but just be really considerate, and your personality should come through in your notes or your postcards, whatever you're doing, but be consistent with it, because when they are ready to pull the plug and they want to sell, you want to be the first, card or whatever it is that you're sending that they pick up to call first. And here's another thing that I think a lot of first-time flippers need to think about. Do not compare your beginning stage to someone else's middle or end stage. Every single person that does this had to start somewhere. They all did. Even the people who seem to be finding all the deals like left and right, and it seems like they're putting no effort into it. You're in your starting place right now, and that's okay. We all started somewhere. So just keep being consistent. You're doing all the right things. And now it's just about refining your process, repeating it, and being patient while momentum builds. You will get frustrated. You're going to get so frustrated. And it's so funny because this last year, like I said, it had been 5 years, and me more than Matt, I get more frustrated because I get excited to do these. And then literally I could not believe this. It was within like a 3-week period. And within that period, we were moving my dad to a nursing home, which was out of the blue, was not planned. And so all of this is happening. And I remember sitting in this new nursing home, not knowing, like my dad was so confused. It was just the most stressful time. And I am getting message after message from people that I had reached out to that they're ready to sell and they want to work with us. I mean, I can see it. And if my dad only had, if his mind was only good, he would be so proud and so excited for what we've been able to do. Because he is the one that taught us everything that we know. I should say he's the one that got us started. He's the one that taught us the first initial ropes. We've been able to do some new things that, again, his mind would be like, wait, what? I wish he was, things were different with all of that. But sorry, that was just a side note. But so yes, thank you so much for your question. And again, please follow up as you're listening to these episodes. Email me, DM me on Instagram. I want to help you. I always learn from people that are doing or trying something that I want to do or I'm interested in or I want to try, or it can be anything from a product to, something else like this. So that's what I'm doing this for. I'm trying to help as many people as I can. So keep those questions, comments coming in, the feedback. I'm loving it all. One thing I do want to say, make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. I've been saying this at the end of every podcast. We are making changes and the podcast will only be on YouTube. For how long, I don't know, but it will only be on YouTube here for a while. That will never change. So if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, and we'll leave a link to that in the show notes, you will be missing the podcast from here on out. And then there will be a point where the podcast, you won't be able to get it on your other platforms. But every single episode is over on the YouTube channel. We will upload it there every Monday. So make sure that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. It's free to subscribe. And not only that, the podcast is on there, but I do new videos every week on the YouTube channel. So you'll be able to catch up on those as well. But if you enjoy the podcast, for sure, you need to be subscribed to the YouTube channel because coming up here soon, it will not be available on the other platforms. It will only be available on YouTube. So until next time, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so, so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.